I've been thinking a lot about the concept of whiteness lately. And I've realized I think I've found a decent analogy. Because I feel like a lot of, like, white folks are fucking confused about it, right? And the best analogy I can think of is, like, whiteout. Like, have you ever used whiteout, like the little bottled liquid stuff that you put on papers when you fuck up? The concept of whiteness is like whiteout, or like an eraser. It comes in and it just blanks everything out. And I think what a lot of white people don't realize is that the concept of whiteness hurts them too. It whites out all of the cool stuff about our cultures as well. And as someone who lives in Appalachia, there is absolutely a culture here. And in fact, if you go to different communities in Appalachia, there are different little cultures in these communities. Because where I grew up was like on the border of Appalachia and the Midwest. My wife grew up close to where we live now. And while there are a lot of things that are the same about the ways we grew up, there are a lot of things that are different too. And Appalachian cultures are distinct. There are cultural foods, there are cultural practices, cultural folklore. There are certain ways of living. And I think a lot of people here do have anxieties about losing our way of life. And I also have that anxiety. But I think where we differ is what we think the root of that is. I think a lot of people here think that the root of that will be like immigration, new people coming here. I disagree with that. I think that immigration adds to the vibrancy of a community. It changes things, but it just sort of becomes something new. Think about like New Orleans, for example. New Orleans has a bunch of different cultures that have come together, largely due to atrocity, but that is a thing that happened. And those cultures blended together into something that is new and is distinct. There's no place on earth like New Orleans. Appalachia is similar in that way, in the fact that Appalachian culture was built out of lots of different cultural practices that became something new. Whiteness doesn't create something new. It just erases it and builds a McMansion on top of what was once there. The MAGA movement, because it is a movement of whiteness, has destroyed the culture of this area. There was so much cool shit here. There still is, but a lot of it is dying because of MAGA. Because people let their racism and anxiety about outsiders override their fucking good sense. And this is like the fucking Appalachian curse, I swear to God. We dug those mines and let the fucking devil out or something. Because this is a mistake we just keep making, and it's so frustrating. We keep sacrificing the things that make this area brilliant. Because some fucking demon in a suit comes in here and promises us riches in exchange for our fucking souls. And our souls get bought and the riches never come. And, you know, I built a lot of this channel on my love for Appalachia, my love for this place. And even in the 5 years I've been on this channel, a lot of what I loved has become unrecognizable. And like a great example of this whole concept, right, is J.D. Vance, who I have been railing against for fucking years. J.D. Vance is a man who hates Appalachia. He'll use it as a backdrop for his folksy backstory. But he hates Appalachia. He hates Appalachian culture. He hates Appalachian people. He's embarrassed by us. He wrote a whole damn book about how fucking degenerate we all are. And I promise you, my fellow Appalachians, he's talking about you. He's talking about you. He's talking about all the things that you love about this place. I promise you he is. J.D. Vance does not want to preserve our way of life. He wants to sell us out to tech companies. The man is bought and paid for by Peter Thiel. As Appalachians, you may temporarily benefit from whiteness. You spent your entire life with certain privileges because of it, but it will eat you too. You also don't fit within it. Your choices are to hollow yourselves out or die. This place used to be full of anarchists and socialists and communists. And now the same people whose grandfathers fucking ran moonshine and worked in mines and fought and died for them to have workers' rights. They're sitting here simping for Donald Trump with a Blue Lives Matter flag outside their fucking house. And so what I want to ask my fellow Appalachians is, are you embarrassed too? Are you embarrassed to be an Appalachian? Do you actually care about preserving all the wonderful things that this area has to offer? Or are you willing to sell all that out? Because MAGA, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. They're gonna take your shit and leave. Just like the factories, just like the coal companies, just like the timber industry. They are going to take your shit and leave. They are doing it right now. And words cannot properly describe the grief I feel because of that. The grief I feel that so many of my fellow Appalachians sold us all the fuck out for the promise of cheaper eggs and an Olive Garden. And a lot of people have asked, why don't you make as much content about Appalachia anymore? And it's because I'm mad at us. I'm so fucking mad at us. We did not learn. We fell for it again. We sold out all the good on the promise we would finally get to be white. That we would finally get to be accepted by this. I don't want to be accepted by this. I want what we had. And I want what we had to keep growing by inviting new people in. By those new people keeping things relevant and exciting. I want our folklore to mix together. I want our foods to become something new that we build together. I don't just want an empty, endless landscape of McDonald's and fucking Starbucks. And that is what you have sold yourselves out for. So that you could maintain this tiny, tiny sliver of white privilege that we get despite the fact we are fucking poor. You lost class solidarity. You lost what was built from coal miners and railway workers who were white and black and Chinese, all working together and building something fucking fantastic. You lost that. You sold it out. And I'm mad at you for it. And I'm here to tell you, my fellow Appalachians, when I have discussed the cultural practices of this area, the cultural foods and the folklore and the way of living, not once, never once, have I had a black person come in here or a Latino person or any of that and give me shit for it. In fact, they're usually excited. They want to share this with us. And that's wonderful. I want to share it with them. And we get to experience these moments of joy with one another, you know? These are people who are happy to experience our way of life. And we should be happy to share it with them. But Donald Trump, JD Vance, they don't care about your way of life. They want it gone. They think you're dirty and stupid and degenerate. They don't want to share your culture with you. They want it wiped off the face of the fucking earth. People who create these movements of whiteness, they see themselves as correcting a mistake. And they don't see that mistake as the poverty or the addiction. They see that mistake as you. You are the mistake that needs correcting. And you need to